Welcome back to Nick Comic Corner Classic / Non-Classics, episode number 1094 and Doubleshot number 988. I have one Marvel trade and one DC trade. First up, it is for Marvel. We have Venom, Absolute Carnage. Yep, this is the third volume of the trade series. Now, you're probably thinking, wait, what isn't the next trade that came out after the previous volume, the War of the Realms time, which was after the Abyss, it was War of the Realms? Well, the thing is, the store I basically bought this from, they didn't have it. The only War of the Realms stuff they had was the main series and the Journey to Mystery tie-in. That's all they had. This is actually the fourth trade I'm reviewing now for Absolute Carnage. Yep, the first issue of this particular... Now, it's still written by Danny Curtis. Ryan Stegman is actually no longer on the artwork for some reason. Yeah, they replaced him for this issue with... For this trade, for the first issue is Julian Guidon for the first issue in here. And the rest issue is by Iba and Carlo with 25 issues by Z Carlos. Why in the world they replaced the artwork on here, I have no idea. It's particularly odd. Also, Kyle Holtz does the artwork for a few of these issues. The first issue itself is an aftermath issue from War of the Realms. It's simply Eddie Brock trying to get his job back at the Daily Globe. I'm like, isn't this place out of business? How the heck is this place in business? I thought we had business back in the 80s. Yeah, as for how in the world the place is still in business, I have no idea. Yep. And, like, okay, well, think about a job if you investigate this. Like, okay, fine, it involves missing kids, involving the plaything of War of the Realms. He does find the kids, but, yeah, but since he called the cops, and of course they were picked up by them, he needs to leave, and of course asks him like for any money. Of course, how they get the job because he wants to get medicine for Dylan, his son, which he has not revealed yet. He's actually his son. He does not reveal it until the end of Absolute Carnage. Now, as in the case of issues 16 and 19, it's mostly put part of the Absolute Carnage event. Now, Venom himself is basically heavily part of the main event. Now, as for the issues themselves, he does occasionally appear in here, but he's not the focus of these issues. Yeah, the issues are focused on Dylan and Naomi Osborn versus the Maker. Yep. And at one point, while they're in basically their base operations, which is Rex's warehouse, Rex's safe house, yes, they get a counselor for the symbiotes from the Life Foundation, who don't have the original host. Well, most of them anyways, except for Scream. With the exception of her, like they have most of them show up here. Yeah, who these people are never explained. We also see the return of the character, the Sleeper, another one of the offspring of Venom. Yes, first time since the first Host miniseries that he's been seen. And his host is dead. Yep, he died. We introduced his character in first Host, and, like, he comes here, and then at some point he died since his last appearance. When he died is never stated. He just is dead now. Yes, my only guess is the reason why Colas probably brought him in, because he was an established character, he's connected to the whole thing with the symbiote, so why not bring him in? You can kind of think of him as Carnage's little brother. That's what best thing you can think of him as. And he kind of and there's something else with Dylan. This is probably something that maybe Danny Coast is going to be exploring later on. Apparently, it's revealed in here that he actually has a piece of the aliens. He was basically creation of a piece of the alien symbiote and a womb. Basically, he's kind of a mixture between human and a little bit of the Call. That's actually the name of the species that the symbiotes are in Marvel Universe. Oh, by the way, is Carnage involved in this particular tie-in? No, he isn't. There's stuff related to the main event, like the whole thing with Eddie Brock and Matt Gargan, leaving behind Miles Morales. That's mentioned in here. Mostly put, it's just basically them versus the Maker, who gets to be hosted by 5 different symbiotes. Which, by the way, second character in the Marvel Universe, this has happened where it has more than one symbiote at the same time. The last time this happened was in the Deadpool vs. Carnage miniseries, which they referenced in the Absolute Carnage vs. Deadpool miniseries tie-in for Absolute Carnage. And then, of course, he gets pretty much defeated thanks to a combination of Captain America, Wolverine, and Spider-Man. Though Wolverine, for some reason, is back wearing his ugly 80s costume. I am not really a big fan of the blue, of the brown and yellow costume. It's not my favorite costume. I don't really like this costume at all. I'm not even sure why they put him in this damn costume. I mean, the costume, like, I like his debut costume. I like his costume when during the early 70s run. The 90s costume is fantastic. Heck, I even like the costume, the outfit he wore, I believe was in the Chuck Awesome one. That was an interesting look for him. Heck, I even like the John Cassidy costume, which was really good. This costume, don't really care for. Eventually the maker gets away. And then he's talking to some people. I'll reveal who it is in a minute. And apparently he's got the symbol from the Ultimate Universe in here. How he got his hands on this is never explained. Because this is the second time he's bought an item from his own universe. Yes, the first time he did this was actually with the White Tiger ambulance. Yeah, somehow he got his hands on that at some point. And apparently in the Ultimate Universe, there was no White Tiger at some point in their universe. There was a Venom. Yes. Though here's kind of the strange thing about Venom. Venom was last seen in the Ultimate Universe in the, I believe it was the second to last story arc of the second volume Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, when Miles Morales book, before the relaunch, before that what happened in 2015. Like this said before Cataclysm happened. Mm-hmm. Yep, and yeah, and of course we see what he looks like without his helmet on. He's not a very good looking person. I mean, his face looks fine. It's just that he has this abnormal sized head. Okay, now you're probably thinking, how the heck did this happen? Well, this is thanks to this happened during a storyline happening after Ultimatum. In the Ultimate Doom trilogy miniseries. You have to basically read that, the explanation of how he got the way he is, where he got the suit from. That was basically something Hickman came up with when he was doing Ultimate Comics Ultimates during his first arc when he did his run for the book, which is 12 issues, by the way. Yep. And by the way, who is he talking to the whole period of time? Speaking of Jonathan Hickman, he's talking to the Council of Reeds. Yes, a bunch of alternate versions of Reed Richards, who, by the way, are not very nice people. Yeah, a lot of them simply have this thing in common. They never made Sue Storm, and, apparently somebody got powers, and they're very vengeful, and they don't like 616 Reed Richards at all. Yeah, I'm surprised that Danny Coates brought these characters back. Because the thing is, these characters have not been seen since Hickman's run of Fantastic Four. I know because I read it. That's how I know. Yeah, but this, of course, is actually pretty good. I thoroughly enjoy reading this thing. I, of course, can't get my hands on the War Realms tie-in book. I'll get my hands on it soon. This book, I give roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Really good. And plus, of course, if you're wondering, what was the next story that came right after this? Venom Island, which is the current circle right now. It's really good, by the way. Next up, we have a brand new series. Well, a mini-series, mind you. This is Naomi, Season 1. Collecting the 60-issue limited series. Yes. Written by Brian Michael Bendis and David Walker. Yes, David Walker wrote Occupy Avengers, Luke Cage. He wrote the Shaft mini-series for Dynamite. He also wrote Power Man, Iron Fist. The guy is a fantastic writer. And apparently it's explaining afterward of this that David Walker is actually kind of helped with Bendis' success with the Miles Morales Spider-Man. Kudos. Now, Naomi herself, brand new character, makes debut in the series. And in case you're wondering about this cover, do any of these characters in this cover, with the exception of Naomi herself, do they appear in the actual issues themselves? Well, here's kind of the thing about this, okay? Only Superman does in the first issue, and that's for 2 pages. That's it. Most of the book is simply just, establishing her, basically explaining where this character comes from. Apparently, Naomi, the way they explain her, is that she is a character, that she's a daughter of 2 people from a different universe, and the people who raised her. Now, she thought she was an alien, like from another planet, like Superman is. That's partially true. She's from an alternate universe. What alternate universe this is never categorized as far as I know. No, not that I can think of, no. And her adoptive father from the planet Ran. And he's a friend of Adam Strange. Okay, that's interesting. Do they contact Adam Strange in this miniseries? No, but they don't. Oh yeah, and there's a guy called D in this series, and apparently this guy is a Thanagarian. Yes, and he operates as a mechanic. Yep. Also, when they show Thanagarians in flashback and in here, they're wearing the outfits they wore from the Hawkworld miniseries, which I'm so kind of glad they actually just have the characters wear those outfits. They're cool outfits. Thank you, Timothy Truman, for creating those characters. I'm going to talk to John Osborne when I see him at Comic-Con next month about Timothy Truman. Yeah. Now, when they first show off her attire, when they first show off her symbol, I thought that she was a White Lantern because the symbol looks very similar to like the White Lantern Corps, and it's also similar to that of the Totality from Scott Snyder's Justice League. It's very similar. In case you're wondering, who does this wonderful artwork? This is J.M.O. Campbell, who's credited as one of the creators of Naomi. Yeah. This, by and large, really good miniseries. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Really good. Now, here's the thing. They did announce at the end of this particular trade here that it's going to be Naomi 2. Basically, it's going to be a follow-up to this. Nothing much is done with it since then. I mean, they announced, I remember when the issue ended, they said it was going to be in September. So went by, nothing. Okay, what has the character done since this miniseries wrapped up? Well, she popped up for one issue of Action Comics. And that's it. That's all she's done. Yeah, that's all I can think of anyways. I mean, I think there is potential for this character. I think she's an absolute fantastic character. Make her very likable. Apparently, it's implied she might be bisexual, or at least a lesbian. They don't really delve into it very much. Yeah. I mean, she's got good supporting characters for the series, and all in all, really good. And this is also for me personally, like another thing from his era for DC reviewed so far. That superhero wise, I think like the only thing left that I can think of is probably the event Leviathan miniseries. That's the only thing I can think of that's left in the trade that collects that. That's the only thing I think of. Like aside from that one trade, I read mostly almost everything so far that's been released for Michael Bendis for his era for DC. Yes. Now, in case you're wondering, am I going to review his Gem World imprint? I don't know yet. I don't have an answer for that right now, anyways, because with the exception of Powers, all of them pretty much self-contained miniseries. Now they're all really good. I thoroughly enjoy reading his Gem World stuff. His I think it's called Gem World, isn't it? Oh, Jinx World, yes. Jinx World. Yeah, almost all of them are like 6 or 12 issue miniseries, with the exception of Scarlet. Scarlet is the only one actually is a continuation from another book. Yeah, this book was like a 6 issue miniseries, and that was it. Yeah, I think it was Pearl and Cover was like 12 issues. I might get my hands on those in the future. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. But as far as I can tell right now, Bendis himself is currently... Oh yeah, there's also the lead superhero stuff, but I don't think the first trade is going to release that for quite a while because the current volume is only about 4 issues in. So, in case you're wondering, how many books basically is Michael Bendis currently working right now? Currently, he's working on 4. Superman, Action Comics, Young Justice, and Legion of Superheroes. That's it. 5 comic books he's working right now. Actually, it's like 4. Yeah, 4 comic books. I have not heard anything else that he's working right now. No, not that I can think of. This is typical Bendis. He gets way too many books on his plate. I mean, most writers get maybe 1 or 2. He gets a lot. As for... Here's kind of the thing by Bendis that I don't understand. Like, how can he work on 4 books at the same time and make sure they come out all at the same time? Who do you think he is? Jack Kirby? I know Jack Kirby had a reputation for doing this, but at least he actually tried to keep on time. As far as I can tell, Bendis, with the exception of like 1 book I can think of, actually about a couple books I can think of. Generally, when he works on multiple books, he actually tries to make sure these books come out on time. The only books I can think of that actually up to a delay was his toward the end of his Uncanny X-Men run and Civil War 2. Everything else, yeah, everything else mostly he has kept up on time. So I'd say as of right now, I have reviewed so far most of Bendis' time at DC. Despite the fact he's only at DC for a little over a year, I've reviewed most of his stuff he's come up with so far. I am planning on getting more stuff for his Marvel works. I mean, I would say about 15% of his stuff he worked on Marvel. Yeah. But that's something for another time, of course, okay? So, that's it for Single Review. So I got a handful more videos to do today. The next video I'm going to do soon will be One Piece. After that will be Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia, okay? See you in the next video. Bye.